Terumot, Perek Bet, or my Perek Bet Mishnah Gimel, third Mishnah in the second chapter of Terumot. Okay, in our last Mishnah, we had a discussion about shogeg and mezid. We talked about if a person was torein mina tamei al hatahor. We said shogeg, if you did it by accident, you didn't realize that what you're taking off of was tamei, trumato truma. Then it's considered truma, and the kohen gets it, has to burn it. Umezid, but if you did it on purpose, lo asaklum. You can't cheat out the kohen by giving him your tamei stuff, so you can keep the tahor stuff. It doesn't work that way. So in our Mishnah is a continuation, as the Mishnah sometimes likes to do. It's going a little bit on a tangent to discuss issues of shogeg and mezid. Said the Mishnah, hamatbil keli b'shabbat. Let's say my kli becomes tamei. This is not tefillah like we normally do when I buy a kli, but it became tamei, so I can't use it because I only want to use my food b'tahara. So I take it and I'm tovel, and I didn't realize they were not allowed to be tovel because we're just putting it in water. What's the big deal? What's the difference between that and washing it? Not realizing that, like the Bartenura says, I'm not allowed to be tovel kelim to rigs them out of their tumah b'Shabbat because it looks like I'm fixing the kli. The Chachamim made a gzeira because I'm not allowed to fix kelim on Shabbat. So this looks like tikkun kli. This looks like I'm being mitaken kli. I really hope the wind isn't a problem. It's kind of outside because it's beautiful out here. Okay. So therefore, but if I'm matbil kelim b'Shabbat, actually I'm curious. I have to do a little more research. What if I did tovel something that I bought new and it's a tefillah for? Is that considered the same thing about shogeg and mezid? I'll look it up. Maybe if you're interested, I don't know. I'll post it somewhere. Okay, but shogeg matbil kelim b'Shabbat. So if I did it shogeg, if I did it not realizing that it's prohibited, yishtamesh b'hem, then I'm allowed to use them. Mezid, but if I did it on purpose, knowing that the Chachamim prohibited it, but I did it anyway, then lo yishtamesh b'hem, then I can't use it until Motzei Shabbat, until the time that I would be able to do it on my own, no problem. Hama'aser v'hamavashel b'Shabbat. Interesting, ma'aser. I'm not allowed to be ma'aser b'Shabbat. Ma'aser she'asur la'afrish trumot u'masor b'Shabbat. You can't take off truma ma'asor mipnei shehu mitaken. Actually, those of you might be familiar with the Bamei Madlikim already know that one of the things, three things a person has to say to himself before ben hashmashot: isartem, iravtem, ediktu aner. Isartem, did you take off maaser? That's one of the things, because you have to make sure that the produce you have is usable, and it's one of the things you can do ben hashmashot, before darkness. That's what, according to the Mishnah. Isartem, it's exera de rabbanan. Why can't you be maaser? Similarly, mitaken, it's a problem of mitaken. It's exera of mitaken. Okay, hamivashel b'Shabbat. But if somebody cooked on Shabbat. If you cooked on Shabbat, shogeg yochal. If you cooked on Shabbat, okay, you either didn't realize you're not allowed to cook, or you didn't realize it's Shabbat. Remember, there's two types of shogeg. Either you're not realizing that this act is prohibited, or you don't realize it's prohibited now. So usually the example I would give is, let's say a person has an apple, and he says, yeah, I'll put it on, just like I warm up my chicken that's already cooked. He doesn't realize that there's a fundamental difference between reheating cooked foods on his hot plate or cooking in totally uncooked food. What's the difference? I can eat the apple anyway, so I'll just stick it on the hot plate. I'll have baked apple, delicious, no problem, because I'm just warming it up anyway. That is bishul b'shogeg. It's bishul deoraita. It's an isur b'vashel. Well, what can you do? Person didn't know. So can he eat it? Okay, now I have it. So if he did it b'shogeg, says the Mishnah, yochal. Mezid lo yochal. But if you did it b'mezid, you're not allowed to eat it. If you did it on purpose, knowing it's prohibited, then you can't eat it. Okay? Now, this idea, do we paskin like this? The answer is no. Based on a Gemara, a Braita, a very well-known Braita in Gittin. And this Braita appears in a number of different places in Shas. So it's actually a huge machloket. This issue is quite a big machloket. I'll just read you part of the Braita. And then, because the Gemara is in the middle of a discussion about a contradiction between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda in the middle of the Gemara, but we're not going to read that whole section. We'll read just a small piece of it. Says the Mishnah. Here we are. Okay, Rabbi Meir, Titania. I'm just going to read the Braita part. Titania, as we learn. Hamavashel b'Shabbat. If you cook on Shabbat, b'shogeg yochal, b'mezid lo yochal. Divrei Rabbi Meir. So if you did, this is exactly what we just saw in our Mishnah. Let's read our Mishnah. So you'll say, great, our Mishnah is Rabbi Meir. That is the opinion of Rabbi Meir. No problem. But let's read the rest of the Mishnah. That's Rabbi Meir's opinion. Rabbi Yehuda says, B'shogeg yochal motzei Shabbat. If I accidentally cooked this baked apple, then I can't eat it on Shabbat. I can eat it Motzei Shabbat. So that's only if I did Isur of cooking D'Oraita. Let's say I warmed something up, just as an aside. If I warmed something up to Rabbanan by accident. So let's say, for example, I'm an Ashkenazi, so I can't warm up my soup. Ashkenazim don't reheat soup. It's only the Rambam, basically. The Rambam and some other Sephardic Rishonim permitted the warming up of liquids. So Teimanim can rely on him, but Ashkenazim do not. So if I accidentally warmed up my soup, or somebody did it not realizing, can I eat it? The answer is yes, because B'shogeg, we paskin that if somebody b'di avad did something, violated the Rabbanan b'shogeg, if there was one opinion that you can rely on, then you can rely on it b'shogeg. Then you can rely on that lenient opinion. But here we're talking about a person violated not a Rabbanan of Shabbat, but a D'Oraita. So therefore, Rabbi Yehuda says, b'shogeg, yochal motzei Shabbat. You can eat the baked apple motzei Shabbat. You did it by accident. But b'mezid, if you cooked it on purpose, lo yochal olami. You can never eat it. Rabbi Yochanan says no. B'shogeg yochal motzei Shabbat la'acherim. If you cook the baked apple by accident, then other people can eat it after Shabbat. You can never eat it. V'lo, you can never eat it because you cooked it on Shabbat. But b'mezid, if you did it on purpose, lo yochal olami, lo v'lo la'acherim. It's straight. You can't eat it at all. So let's just take a look at our chart. I made you a little chart. Okay? This is our Braita. This is our Mishnah. So we're here focusing on Mevashel b'Shabbat. Shogig yochal, mezid lo yochal. So it seems it's like Rabbi Meir. Yochal, shogeg, mezid lo yochal. Sounds great. Rabbi Yehuda says you can eat it on Motzei. You can eat it Motzei Shabbat. Lo yochal, ever you, but acharim can eat it. And Rabbi Yochanan Asander says, like we just said, other people can eat it after Shabbat, but if you did it on purpose, nobody can ever eat it at all. That's the three-way machloket that appears in the Braita in a number of places in Shas. In Gittin, it appears in Baba Kama, in Chulin, in other places. It's a very famous Braita. So why not just say, so we're very happy, say that our Mishnah is Rabbi Meir. The only problem is we don't paskin like Rabbi Meir. We paskin, the halachah paskins like, let me undo that. Let's try to make it highlighted or something. We paskin like Rabbi Yehuda. Halacha is Rabbi Yehuda says, yochal motzei Shabbat, and b'mezid lo yochal elami. So the Bar Tanura, this will explain the Bar Tanura's comments. Hamevashel b'Shabbat, he says, b'shogeg, yochal oto tafshil l'motzei Shabbat. Now you can eat it now, but you can eat it l'motzei Shabbat. So he says the word yochal here, b'Shabbat, yochal is yochal l'motzei Shabbat. And if you do it, aval lo b'Shabbat atzmo, u'b'mezid, and if you do it on purpose, lo yochal hu, you can't eat it. Aval acherim ochlim l'motzei Shabbat, but other people can't eat it. So the Bar Tanura says that our Mishnah, he doesn't want to mistake Sam Mishnah Rabbi Meir. He wants to say our Mishnah is like Rabbi Yehuda, we paskin with. That lo yochal means him, but not other people. Why? It says, Ushmatem et Shabbat hi kodesh hi. Shabbat hi kodesh. Shabbat is kodesh. Ve'ein maaseh kodesh. Chazal were uncomfortable with the idea of saying that if I did something on Shabbat, I can make something prohibited forever. So they say hi kodesh ve'ein maaseh kodesh. So they don't want this Mishnah to paskin like Rabbi Meir. They wanted to paskin like Rabbi Yehuda, who we paskin like halachically. Similarly, in another case, anotea b'Shabbat, if I plant on Shabbat, I didn't realize you can't plant on Shabbat. Shogeg, if I did it by accident, yikayim, I can leave the plant. Mezid yakor. But if I did it on purpose, yakor, then I have to uproot it, I have to get rid of it. Uba shvi'it, if I plant in shvi'it, bein shogeg, bein b'mezid, yakor. Whether I do it on purpose or by accident, yakor. Why? Bar Tanura says, and this reminds us of our long study of shvi'it, shenechshedu Yisrael al shvi'it, v'lo nechshedu al Shabbat. Chazal made a gzeira when they were afraid people would violate the halachah. So Shabbat, it's very unlikely that if we let you leave the plant, that people are going to say, oh, I can leave plants, I can plant on Shabbat. Pretty much everybody knows you can't plant on Shabbat. So if a person did it b'shogeg, there's no reason to be goes there. But in Shvi'it, as soon as we say b'shogeg, or you didn't know by accident, people are going to start doing it, because people had a hard time with Shvi'it. We actually learned this in Masechet Shvi'it. It was a very, very challenging mitzvah. And if we let you keep anything planted on Shvi'it, then everybody would start planting on Shvi'it. So therefore, even on Shogeg, bein b'shogeg, bein beizid, Ya'akor, you have to uproot the plant. And Chazal didn't want anybody to benefit from planting accidentally, intentionally, certainly not even accidentally on Shvi'it. We'll dedicate the learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. And if you have any comments or questions, as always, arspoter@gmail.com. Have a great day.